A kid is being bullied by his classmates to confront a high schooler, and not just any normal high schooler, but the world's strongest. Despite being scared, Rumina Ayukawa musters up his courage and asks for the world's strongest high schooler to fight with him. The old high schoolers laugh at him, and then tell him to wait at Tama River. As Rumina waits for his opponent, we see Baki Hanma, the world's strongest high schooler. Even though Rumina is scared, he still takes out his pocket knife, ready to fight. Rumina believes Baki won't fight against the kid, but Baki takes his shirt out, after which Rumina finally sees why Baki is feared by most. It looks like Rumina is going to get a beatdown by a guy 10 times his size, but Baki just pats him, throwing him into the river. It seems Baki wasn't serious. He knew Rumina was being forced into this, so he instead befriends him and tells him that he was able to take his full force, so 3 little bullies of his size won't be any problem to him. Baki teaches Rumina a strong lesson on courage and befriends him. Later, Rumina asks Baki how he trained to be the world's strongest teenager. Baki then reveals his secret training skill. All of a sudden, Baki starts shadowboxing. With no opponent to fight him, Baki still shadowboxes like he's facing a world elite boxer. Baki is truly taking this seriously. Rumina is watching all this in awe, but then he notices something weird. Out of nothing, a faint figure starts boxing with Baki. Rumina realizes that Baki was using his imagination to fight the world's #1 boxer, Iron Michael. Baki's serious and strong imaginative power has made Iron Michael appear in front of him, and now Baki is in a boxing match with the world's best. The manifestation is so real that Baki gets punched and uppercutted, leaving him on the floor. He even bleeds, but Baki stands right back up and lands a devastating punch which defeats Iron Michael. Rumina thinks it's really cool that Baki can manifest anyone to fight, and he just defeated the world's #1 boxer. But Baki is barely content with it. He wants to train harder, at a level where he overthrows his father, Yujiro Hanma, as the world's strongest fighter. And he further reveals that Iron Michael was just a warm-up. He has a much tougher opponent prepared for his training. At his home, Baki takes Rumina to his basement, an empty basement with just a table. Baki recalls how his father defeated the world's strongest and biggest African elephant. So, if he wants to be stronger than his father, Baki needs a stronger opponent than an African elephant. All of a sudden, Baki gets hit, and Rumina steps forward to see that a small praying mantis was the one who had dealt the blow. Rumina is confused as to how a praying mantis could be stronger than an elephant. Baki then tells Rumina that insects are the best one-on-one fighters. For a creature that size, insects are extremely strong, stronger than any other beast. For reference, a lion can carry a prey 4 times their size, but an insect can carry weight that is 10 times their own size, and even drag them for an entire day. Imagine if Rumina was able to drag a sumo wrestler of 400 pounds. Similarly, deers can jump really high, but fleas can jump higher in comparison to their size. If a flea was the size of a deer, it'd be able to jump a 10-story building with ease. Even with their small size, an insect's grip is extremely tough to break. Now imagine if that insect becomes the same size as a human. It'd be no competition. And a praying mantis is a pro fighter amongst all insects. In fact, a praying mantis is so strong that it was studied to create a form of style in martial arts. In that sense, praying mantises are martial artists, and if they were as big as an African elephant, they'd slay the elephant within a few seconds. That's why Baki wants this praying mantis as his opponent. And now he starts to manifest the praying mantis into matching his size. Baki starts fighting, and slowly, we see Baki's manifested human-sized praying mantis in full action. The mantis is so strong that Baki is beginning to have a tough time fighting it. It's visible through Baki's eyes that this is the toughest opponent that he has ever faced in his life. Baki is clearly losing this fight. However, he isn't fainted by this. He is studying his opponent. Baki realizes that, unlike his human opponent, a praying mantis doesn't get dizzy when hit on the head, so any attacks on the head won't work. But even so, the praying mantis is so strong that it easily deals with every strong hit on its body. Baki somehow manages to get the mantis in a submission lock, but even then, the mantis easily gets out of it and throws Baki off. Baki is really hurt, but he's still not thinking of calling the fight off, as it's only his manifestation. Despite Rumina calling to stop this, Baki intensely looks ahead at his opponent. With his huge eyes, Baki realizes that the mantis has no blind spot, and he can't escape its vision even for a bit. Luckily, Baki finds the mantis's weak spot, its soft neck. Then, Baki remembers an ancient story of a martial arts student who witnessed a fight between a praying mantis and a sparrow. Despite the bird being larger, the mantis easily killed it, which made the student wonder. So he began to study the mantis's fighting style, and after years of research and training, he came up with a fighting style that resembled the mantis's fighting style. And now, Baki is using that same style in his combat against the mantis. He begins to mimic a mantis's stance, and once again, he manages to hit the mantis on its neck. After getting more hits, the mantis seems like it's contemplating the fight. Baki then says that the mantis has been so good in attack that they haven't had yet to worry about their defense. Despite its amazing attacking skills, the mantis lacks in defense, and now Baki is going to exploit that. He is now more confident about this fight, and is landing more clear hits than before. Baki knows he is going to win this fight, and so does the mantis, which backs off accepting defeat. Baki is getting closer and closer to his arm of getting stronger than his father and defeating him to become the world's strongest fighter.